Da-da, da-da, do-do-do-do-do. Da-da, da-da, do-do-do-do. Three guys and no bear are ready for more playoffs. And now here's Coach Grandor. Do. And Apollo. Burp. Beep. Burp. Beep. Burp.
Football.
Playoffs. We had playoffs.
We kind of had playoffs, man. Didn't feel like the playoffs.
The wild card weekend was way better than
It actually
the divisional
was,
weekend. Which is a shame.
Yeah, like these games, like I expected a
Expected
little
more of them.
I honestly thought that they'd all be genuinely close, good games, and then they just weren't.
Yeah, like all of them.
Especially Bills Bengals. Like I thought that was at least going to be like the crazy showdown. Everyone's like, "Ooh, this is what we've been waiting for."
Mm-hmm. I'm happy that I only had half attention because I was eating Korean barbecue with Justin. For that game, yeah.
Do love a good Korean barbecue.
Look at Mr. Name Dropper over here.
Well, yeah, I had a little.
Couldn't watch football. I'm hanging out with my famous streamer friends.
Yeah, hanging out with HC Justin, eating some samgyeopsal.
You better watch your language, isn't it?
By the way, when I get Korean food, I always get bulgogi stew.
Yeah,
bulgogi. We got some bulgogi. Yeah,
bulgogi.
We did beef tongue too. That was delicious.
Not a fan of beef tongue. You got to go for the thin pork belly as well.
Well, it was very thinly sliced beef tongue. It was quite good. But yeah.
So we had playoff football.
But yeah, not much in the news category, really.
Well, I mean, we
got some news.
There's news. Oh, I didn't hear it.
So first up, huge.
Regale me with the news.
Bill O'Brien.
Oh,
Alabama,
yeah, that one.
OC has returned to New England as their offensive coordinator.
He was good for them, kind of.
Yeah.
I mean, he's better than Byron Leftwich. And
yep.
He's better than Matt Patricia. I'll say that. Yeah, that's
true.
Certainly true.
That's not a hard thing to do. Doug Peterson has been named AFC Coach of the Year.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who NFC is, but I imagine it's the Giants coach, Brian Dable.
Gotta be.
It's gotta be.
Yeah, it's gotta be Dable.
We had
it is
Sauce.
All right.
Oh, okay. Sauce Gardner, Rookie of the Year. There it is.
Well, so important to note, these are the AP awards right now. So this is just like the press.
Yeah, these aren't the official yet.
These aren't the official ones yet.
But they probably all will be, honestly.
Yeah, they probably will be.
It might, yeah. I mean, Sauce is Defensive Rookie of the Year and Garrett Wilson Offensive Rookie of the Year, according to the Associated Press. So
and if Breece Hall didn't get yeeted out of his first rookie season, he would have been Offensive Player of the Year. Absolutely.
He might have been. I mean, the fact, like, Garrett Wilson could, I think Kenneth Walker might win Offensive Rookie of the Year, but, like, Garrett Wilson definitely deserves, being it potentially, too. I mean, he to get his numbers on the Jets with their QBs. I mean, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
So, Rob, do you remember me telling you about that Sauce Gardner card I got where he just signed off of the edge of the card for no reason?
Okay, yeah.
It was a while ago, so it's okay if you don't remember it. Anyway, I got it back from PSA, and I posted it in our football chat. Somehow, some way, it got a 10. Even with him, look how far he signed. By the way, that's not a sticker. That's an on-card auto. Look how far he signed. He signed past the border. And PSA was like, yeah, sure, that looks good to me. And I was like, okay.
He's doing them pretty quick. I respect it.
And hey, if he gets Defensive Rookie of the Year, hey, that card's gonna be worth a lot of money.
Thank God that card's value is gonna go up.
That signature is just a penis, by the way. I don't know.
Yeah, that is a dick.
Yeah, no, that's a dick and balls.
Yeah, that's a dick signature.
He's even got the little what's the name of the ridge on the gooch? He's got that going on too.
Gooch ridge, yeah, I believe
the
was
gooch
the official medical terminology for it.
That's right.
Yeah.
So that was the rookies of the AP rookies. Thank you,
Who got
Rob.
Gooch Ridge of the Year?
That's a great question.
Who got Goochridge on their bingo card for today's podcast?
Literally nobody.
The other big news is literally just rumors, which is Aaron Rodgers potentially to the Jets.
Oh, baby.
It's 2008 all over again.
It really
Dude, that'd make for a fun 2024 at least.
Sure
Yeah.
would. It means we're only 2 years away from another Super Bowl with our next Hall of Fame quarterback.
Yeah,
I can't wait.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, and then that means that like Aaron Rodgers would come here, play pretty well, get injured late in the season, and we'll miss the playoffs again, and then we'll hire Rex
Spoil
Ryan.
the whole year, Rob.
Yeah.
Jeez, allow for a little drama.
Honestly,
I
I really hope they'd trade Aaron Rodgers to the Jets. That's like the situation I want
be so fun.
badly. That would be I think it's even more fun than when Tom Brady went to the Buccaneers for this show. Like this is
It's
just,
pretty zany, dude.
It's not more fun than that.
I think it's more fun. Then who knows what'll happen. It'd be crazy.
It'd be nice.
Yeah.
It'd be nice. But we still need an offensive coordinator. So I mean, that's gonna.
Well,
make
Aaron Rodgers would be your offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
That's usually how it
that's
works. And
You're on field offensive coordinator.
I
You
know
save
that
money, dude.
there have been rumors that the Jets are looking at Nathaniel Hackett because of the Aaron Rodgers thing.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm just saying that didn't work out so hot for the Broncos when they tried to do the same thing to
Yeah.
get Nathaniel.
Well,
I'm not sure Aaron Rodgers loves.
To be
Nathaniel
fair,
Hackett that
I do
much.
think Hackett's a good offensive coordinator. I just think he's a terrible coach
Yeah.
because he did pretty well as our offensive coordinator for a while, but still, I mean, the big thing someone tweeted was that Packers will want at least 2 first-round picks in a trade for Aaron Rodgers. Peter King shared in his column, and he also added that the Jets owner Woody Johnson would happily pay that price.
No mention of the GM, Joe Douglas.
No mention.
Yeah. No, that's our owner. Oh boy. Yeah.
So hey, you know what? I'll take 2 firsts. Sounds great.
Yeah. I mean,
you're spending money that you don't have yet, Coach.
I'm just saying.
It's
imagine.
just a rumor. It's not even like a thing yet.
Imagine we
so.
get Love in there. We get like we get like a first-round offensive lineman, another wide receiver, and like
This is how Packer expectations go, and
this
then
is
like
how
you've
we
already
build our
spent money before you've
championship
even gotten it.
teams.
This is the unaffected optimism of someone who has not experienced pain as an NFL fan.
yeah. This is the Patriots fan.
Yeah, this is the Patriots fan for
I'm just
sure.
saying, I would much rather just trade Rodgers for as much as we can get instead of him just like retiring or playing a year and then retiring. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I mean that's you're looking for value, but like,
Yeah. Well, listen,
You're already like-
that's what I'm saying. 2 first-round picks. We get 2 first-round picks. That's fucking
Tell me
bad.
4 first-round picks for Aaron
You said
Rodgers.
4
I love it.
Let's
Yeah,
go.
let's
Who
do
give
it.
me like
First, a
20
second,
first-round picks.
a fourth.
I'll take 'em.
And then
They're gonna let us draft the whole first round.
They're going to create a new round of the draft just for us.
and you know what? We'll even take Brees Hall. Just to
Yeah, right. Yeah, no, yeah. Yeah, and Quinnen Williams.
Great
Quinnen
team, real
Williams,
quick,
that's all,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, no, it wouldn't be a problem. Yeah, no, the only thing that I would say is that historically speaking, so far in the 4 years that Douglas has been here as the GM, he's been pretty frugal in his trade making. So I would think that he would be sort of disinclined for a 2 first-round pick trade. However, as your article mentioned, Woody Johnson has stepped in before.
Yeah.
He stepped in to get us Tim Tebow. So if he steps in
baby.
to,
Now I'm excited.
So if he steps in to get us Aaron Rodgers, I would be better. I would feel better about that than Tim Tebow. But
Still
I
the
think
best
One would
name.
think, yeah.
yeah,
Still the best name in the NFL, by the way. Woody
Tim Tebow.
Yeah.
Man.
I don't know. There's some pretty good names in the NFL, dude.
yeah. No, there
I
are.
don't know, do you even want Aaron Rodgers though at this point? Like,
It's just
I mean,
for fun.
it's a good
It's
QB
fun.
draft, isn't it?
He was playing at MVP level when he had Devontae Adams. So
Yes.
Yeah,
And
but like,
that's
I
only
mean,
1 year removed.
Are
He
we
fell
even
off real
discussing
hard.
the fact that maybe he fell off a little bit and he's not as good as 2 first-round picks anymore?
Let's also
That's-
remember the fact that he broke his thumb and played with a broken thumb for like half the season. Maybe a little more of that. Now, is he as good as he used to be? I don't think so. Honestly, I think his decision making is the thing that's gone down a little bit.
I just throw some lame ducks, dude.
I have to say, I do think that you guys perhaps are unaware of the Jets' quarterbacking history. If Aaron Rodgers came to this, if Aaron Rodgers lost both of his arms and came to this team, he would still be the best passer the Jets have ever had.
I mean, let's do a quick comparison.
Put it into perspective, do you know the last time the Jets had a 4,000-yard passer at QB?
I sure do, Rob.
Was it Brett Favre?
Do you? Oh no, it was not Brett Favre. It was Joe fucking Namath in 1969.
Oh no!
I'm not
That's
kidding.
basically never, actually.
that is basically
And it was the one time, the only time that a QB has ever passed for 4,000 yards. And keep in mind, that was like, Super Bowl III, right? And since, even in just the last 20 years, having a 4,000-yard passer, it's like every team has one of those.
Yeah, it's
right?
like standard.
Yes. So I understand where you're saying that, Aaron Rodgers might be a little washed, but like
their bar is low.
The bar's real low.
Well,
it's real fucking low. He would easily be. He would break all of the records in the first year, most likely.
Here's a fun one. The Jets. That was their last one. The Bears have never had a 4,000-yard passer.
I have heard that. Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Never had it.
I mean, when you think about it, like, who's been there?
Yeah. In fact, the Bears' record holder for passing yards in a season is Eric Kramer, who had 3,800 in 1995.
Oh my god!
I can't even remember the name of the dude that played for the Bears before. It looks like he smoked cigarettes all the fucking
Jay Cutler,
time.
yeah.
Oh,
Jay Cutler.
Jay Cutler never passed 4,000?
No.
Wow.
Cutler. Yeah, Cutler. I don't even think he came close.
No. That's he must have. So yeah, Aaron Rodgers.
So I know, like the rest of your teams have had some good QBs over the years.
You could say that.
The Jets, we have a very low bar to clear here. And Aaron Rodgers, even having a former MVP at all, is like far beyond anything the Jets have ever had, besides Brett Favre for half a year in 2000.
I mean, if you even compare, everyone's like Aaron Rodgers, down year, right? He still had 3,700 yards, 26 touchdowns, and 12 interceptions. Like, it's still vastly superior to anything the Jets.
That's probably the second best. That's probably the second highest in terms of yardage in the Jets franchise history, and also probably the most touchdowns in franchise history.
And he did that throwing to two rookies, Alan Lazard and Sammy Watkins.
Yeah, and he would have Garrett Wilson and Breece Hall here.
Yeah, that would be.
You want to hear something funny?
Yeah.
Yes.
Jay Cutler, he did get 3,800 yards, so he got close.
Okay,
on Chicago. He did pass for 4,500 yards on the Denver Broncos in 2008.
That's fun.
Oh yeah, that's when they traded for him. The Bears were like, "Dude, we can get our passer," and I mean, to be fair, he did okay, but he never did that again.
I always liked Jay Cutler. I mean, I how I feel about unloved.
I'm looking at his stats.
You just love bad quarterbers, right?
He is average. He's just like the painfully average quarterback.
I love Jay Cutler too. He would always throw like 5 picks against the Packers. It was great.
He was fun to watch because he was a real gunslinger type guy, and he didn't give a shit about the game at all, which was hilarious.
Speaking of not giving a shit about the game, let's talk about some of these games.
Oh yeah.
So let's start out with the old Jaguars Chiefs. That was the first game. Honestly, maybe the best one. I don't even.
Oh no, really?
Yeah.
I can tell you without a shadow of a doubt that the second this game ended, it was when Chad Henne marched down the field 95 yards. And the Chiefs scored. Like, you're telling me, Jacksonville, like, look, we've been rooting for you all damn year.
Yep.
All right. You looked hot at the end of the season, at least not the last game, but the previous games.
Yep.
You come in, you get graced by God himself to have Patrick Mahomes get injured.
Yep.
The gods have smiled upon you.
Yep.
And you can't win this game?
Yeah.
Undeserved.
Yeah,
They didn't deserve it.
Honestly, this was like I think this was the Jaguars' kind of like ceiling for this season. Like, remember,
dude, they surpassed their ceiling. This is just fucking bonus points.
well,
now.
yeah, that's kind of what I mean. Like, we didn't even think this team was going to make the playoffs. We were just like, oh, you know what? But next year and the year after that, watch out. But like, this team went to like, this is a massive win. Just making the playoffs was a massive win.
Getting the playoff W. Was a massive W.
So
I mean, this was ultimately a one-score game. It was, Chiefs 27 to Jags 20.
Though, I mean, let's be real. The Jags should have won. They should have won. They should have won this game.
They
They
had
won the better team.
They had 2 chances at the end, 2 drives where they turned the ball over.
Yeah.
So
they shot themselves in the foot twice.
Yeah.
Oh, it was that horrible fumble, wasn't it? Or is that what game am I thinking of?
You're thinking of Charles Agnew. That was this game.
Yeah, the fumble. That was
Jamal
bad.
Agnew.
Jamal Agnew.
But I mean, in fairness to Jamal Agnew, the rest of the game though on returns, he was a monster.
Yeah,
like,
he played better after he fumbled, but
yeah,
I mean, the last fumble was not the sealer, but it was the Trevor Lawrence interception that was the sealer.
Yeah,
it was over after that.
Honestly, like the turnovers are what kills you in playoff games, and like they got super lucky last week. They played the Chargers because that's the one team where you can turn the ball over and they'll charge it up. But the Chiefs aren't gonna, let you do that.
Yeah,
Mahomes.
and look, God, we have a problem because I watched this game on stream muted, so I couldn't hear anything. At the end of the game, I was like, "Oh man, it was this game on NBC?" Like I was asking my chat, like, "Oh yeah, it was NBC," and I was like, "Oh my God." I don't know if anyone can tell me, but did fucking Collinsworth just suck Mahomes' dick the entire time to the point where you would want to like probably off yourself just having to listen to it?
It was awful.
It's bad enough having to watch a Collinsworth Mahomes game, a game where Mahomes is injured and has to heroically come back and play. Collinsworth probably fucking exploded. He probably was filled with cum to the brim and just exploded.
How does this guy do it? He's got the ankle sprain. He's still throwing touchdowns.
Only Patrick Mahomes could make that
Only
play.
this guy can make that play. He can
called,
make that
he
play
called
on
a
me all
jump
day.
pass that didn't happen. Like,
Yeah.
Mahomes didn't jump.
I did
and
think it
he-
was really weird when he took like a couple of minutes to say, "Hang on, I gotta."
look at him limp.
It was insufferable.
It's a joke, like it's a meme, but like this is actually like a problem with announcers these days. Like, people were getting on Romo's ass about it too, like,
and rightfully
lately.
so. He was shitty in that game.
It's legit. Like, we gotta like I'm all for like the announcers having a bit of passion and being excited about the game, but this is ridiculous, man. Like, you're actually actively ruining the game for people acting this way. Like, stop.
No, he wouldn't shut up. He literally would not. I mean, I watched the whole game. He would not shut up about Holmes. He called. There was a pass that he said that it was not. He basically didn't blame Mahomes for overthrowing a ball. He blamed the receiver for not being in the correct spot when the pass was clearly overthrown.
Well, I was reading too, and apparently I was reading comments as well, and people were like complaining about the same stuff. But apparently there was also a throw where Trevor Lawrence threw a really, really good deep ball, and the receiver just didn't catch it. And
and he said it was overthrown.
Lawrence.
He said that one was overthrown.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, I remember that too. It was right on his hands. Yeah, no, look, I've said this before. I'll say it again. This is why the NFL needs to let fans just cast the game. Just have a
terrible idea, Rob. Terrible.
No, I mean they really
bad.
do. They're doing it slightly on Twitch to some degree.
I don't.
The Manning cast is far better than. In my opinion, I'm far more entertained.
Those aren't fans. Those aren't random jerk offs on Twitch, though.
Sure, that's true.
Football players.
Yeah, but ex-football players would probably be the most watched commentators of the games because they would be.
Well, a lot of color commentators are ex-football players.
Yeah,
I know, and they have producers and billion-dollar multimedia companies in their ear being like hey, stop the game analysis. Talk about how big Josh Allen's dick is.
Well,
don't forget that Chris Collinsworth is an ex-NFL player too. So.
Yeah,
that's but that's what I'm saying is like Tony Romo especially is a good example of this, where Tony had a different kind of style with his commentary and was told to dial it back. Yeah, well, and then the people with the money were like, no, stop doing this. we'd rather hear human interest stories about the players and the saddest things that happened in their lives, and and then just talk about how great they are. That's it, because they sell the tickets.
Yeah,
and that's look. I'm sorry, I like broadcast commentary, but especially the past couple of years, it has deteriorated to the point where it's just like nothing.
I remember ESPN. Remember they've gotten away from it finally, but they used to be like, "Here's this kid drafted. His mom died, and his dog has cancer." Like, oh, okay.
He's having a real bad day today.
And this is the best day of his life.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'll be honest, like, it's why I like Joe Buck so much now. Like, straight up, I think he's like the best because he doesn't do that bullshit. Like, what an insane player! I would suck his entire dick for the whole. No, he just calls the games. He's toned up the excitement because that was his biggest thing. He's one of the best now.
Yeah, I agree.
Aikman sucks. Aikman still fucking sucks.
I absolutely hate listening to Troy.
I mean,
I hate Aikman.
So.
I wish Joe Buck had someone else with him.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest. I think that Aikman and Buck have a nice chemistry together, though.
Oh yeah, I think
they do.
And better. They've been doing it for.
Aikman just says some random ass shit that doesn't make sense. So
he's not. I think he's not so good at
thinking
small talk. But thinking. No, but he is good.
Dude's
like
had
when
like
they
14 concussions. Like
when they do the post-mortem on plays, though, it's actually pretty nice having him. Like he's good at the post-mortem analysis.
You want to have a quarterback in the commentary booth who can at least carry himself in a conversation.
Well, that's why Peyton Manning was so good. Because I mean, I remember watching.
That's why the Manning cast is so great because they're two quarterbacks.
Because like the Packers Lions last year, not this year, but it was interesting because they would just say the things you were like, oh wow, I didn't even know. Like they'd be like, here's the single high safety. And they're just like they're trying to stop the run, and then they go too deep safety. So he's like, now they're daring Aaron Rodgers to run the ball. Is he gonna run it? And they're like, all right, he's running. So they're like breaking down the play and like calling everything and like making you think like, wow, this is how this play is developing and how it works and what they're thinking about pre-snap essentially. And then otherwise they're just like, there comes Jimbo Jones. This guy's a force to be reckoned with.
Let me tell you about Jimbo Jones over here, all right?
Jimbo Jones, 6'5", 800 pounds. This guy will stuff
He's
the line.
All man.
His mother died when he was 5 years old.
In fact, we're getting a report down on the field as we talk to his coach, Marissa. Hey, we're talking to the coach. Coach, what's it feel like to be in this situation? Well, feels like I'm coaching a football game, and I had to take a break to talk to you for no reason. All right, well, let's send it back up to the booth.
Voice. I didn't know Marissa Tomei had the same voice as the coach.
They're brothers. Well, they're related.
It's just like, God, I just don't care about all that shit. Like, just give me the analysis or just like say what's happening. Like that's it.
And I love Tony Romo's like pre-analysis on stuff, and I was seeing people saying like, yeah, I think part of the reason that they didn't like him doing that is because of the for live bets, because it's bad for live betting.
Yeah, that would definitely add up.
Well,
especially now.
Yeah, yeah. So
my favorite, they'll just be like, and here's Bet Live, and they're like, if you have a gambling problem, remember you'll lose if you gamble. By the way, check out the latest gambling website.
Hey, I got Kevin Hart here again for 170,000th time.
And all the owners of the league and the commentators.
That was the Chiefs game.
That was the Chiefs game.
I mean, I'll be honest. It was besides those two things, it wasn't really that good.
Yeah. I mean, Pat Mahomes. We should talk. When Pat Mahomes got injured, it was kind of.
It looked real bad.
It looked bad. He got kneed in the knee.
He's probably still injured. Like,
he
probably won't play that well.
It's officially a high ankle sprain. And I said when it happened in our group chat that like it looked to me, it looked a little bit dirty from.
I kind of agree.
Yeah.
The defensive player. It was the first guy, not the second guy who came in and delivered the hit, but the first defenseman. I don't remember who it was on the Jaguars.
Mm-hmm.
But he was basically dragging him down while landing on his leg. And I mean, from the angles that I saw, it looked like, I mean, he could have let go. Like Mahomes looked like he was going down.
Right.
But he was trying. My guess is, as a defensive player, he was trying to make sure that he couldn't get the throw off. But I felt like he was holding on a little bit too long. Yeah. I'm not saying that they deliberately injured him. It looked a little bad.
I saw it. I thought it looked weird on the slow motion replay.
Yeah. That's the slow motion. You know which one I'm talking about. It's he's just holding on.
It's when it for me. It was when because when he goes down, he doesn't even really like. Some momentum is carrying him down, but he like kind of aims his knees at Mahomes. But I mean, it's slow motion. It happens so quick. It's hard to say for sure. And if that player doesn't have a history of it, then whatever. But
that being said, though, I mean the league needs to figure out what the hell roughing the passer is.
They need to do this for years.
Some sort of agreement of what you can and cannot do to quarterbacks.
They were legit. It was like 3 or 4 years ago, back when Clay Matthews actually played. He was getting one every week, and I was just, it was like, what is this? Like it's been years. Like they haven't done shit.
Well, one of the issues too is that because I'm fine with them having the stringent roughing the passer calls if they're behind the line of scrimmage.
Right.
But then I've seen it happen in games where they give hard calls on a QB that's like fighting for the first down. And it's like, that's not, if he's running, if he's running up the field, then they should be able to tackle him.
Be like another player, like any player.
Yeah. So but yeah.
So it's going to be interesting with his ankle going forward, see if that affects him or not. But especially against the Bengals, who seem to be the anti-Chiefs team. So we'll see. But speaking of teams, the Eagles are the anti-Giants because they shit on them 38-7.
Just destroyed them.
And there was no game of all the games this weekend. This was the least game. It
was over from the start.
Just shellacked them.
Yeah, like the Eagles came out and you saw them drive and you're like, yeah, this one's done. Yeah, Giants got sacked 5 times. They were just 1 of 3 on 4th down, 5 of 13 on 3rd down. Meanwhile, the Eagles were 10 of 14 on 3rd down. They controlled the ball for an extra 9 minutes. It was just no turnovers. Giants threw a pick. It was just bad.
Every category was
dominated. Kenneth Gainwell, 112 yards and a touchdown. Jalen Hurts looking good. It's looking pretty good.
Although he did look a little, not. He looks a little still injured. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can see that. But it's still better than their other option.
Yeah.
But it's gonna be interesting with the Giants too, because I think Saquon's a free agent now, right?
Is he? Oh, yeah. Jeez.
I'm pretty sure he is.
Over the cap.
Because then Daniel Jones is also at the end of his contract, but I think they're going to franchise tag him probably.
Well, yeah, because Saquon, he would have to be at the end of his 5-year deal, right? And then that would mean that Daniel Jones, because he was drafted the year after, he would be getting 5th-year option, right?
Yeah, I think so. So I don't even.
Oh, yeah, yeah. So he was playing as of April last year. Saquon was playing on his 5th-year option.
Oh, I see.
So he's going to be a free agent, but Daniel Jones, they could get the 5th year on him.
Well, apparently back in April they declined his 5th-year option.
Oh,
so. Now, that's why they think they might franchise tag him. So that's a weird situation, actually. And then apparently some website says Broncos favored to sign Saquon Barkley. I don't know that's even true. These are all just rumors at this point. None of it really matters. But either way, what matters is the Giants got shit on, and they made it farther than I think a lot of us thought they'd go. So,
Dable's a good coach.
Yeah, they have a good coach, and now they just need some more stuff and to re-sign players, and that's about it.
Yeah, I was more impressed with the Jaguars run than the Giants.
I was too, honestly. I still thought the Giants were good. I was like, it's probably like I said, I thought it was like an 8-9 win team, and that's kind of what they were. And they got in, and they got. You know what? They did what they had to do. They beat the Vikings. Proud of you, Giants.
I mean, I will say the Jaguars at least had Trevor Lawrence and some kind of potential future, whereas the Giants, I feel like everyone thought that team was oh yeah, it's about to come completely apart at the seams and be completely rebuilt
Yeah.
because it's garbage. But for them to make the playoffs in 1 year is impressive for Dable.
Yeah, and now he'll try to get, you at least know what you got. You got players you can bring back, and then
Do you guys move on from Jones?
I think
No,
still bring him back.
He played well enough to bring him back. He's in the system.
You guys just talked about the whole Saquon stuff. I mean, those two are just, if you can get them established as pillars, those are very good pillars.
They need deep threats is what they need.
Yeah. They need any receivers at this point.
They need receivers at all. Yeah.
It's they got like nobody, which is why it's so impressive they actually got this far.
Are you guys feeling like it was a little disappointing this year, just as sort of a general point? Like, we talked all year about how it seemed like the parity in the league was so good, and that there weren't really like any teams that were clearly separating themselves. But now it absolutely feels like the remaining 4 teams are far and away the best ones.
Well,
I think it's easy to say that, and when they were down to the Final Four, I mean,
I know, but like, I was kind of hoping for a little more fight, I guess, in the playoffs. You know what I mean? Like, I really thought I thought there would be closer games.
These have been a very stinky playoffs. Overall. Even though you said the wild card round was good, but the teams that were expected to win still won, and it didn't really feel like those games were interesting.
The Giants
from like
was probably the most exciting result, right?
Yeah,
so.
Probably.
And that was just something we already, I feel like most of us already knew.
Jags,
probably Jags.
Then it's just sort of dull, I don't know.
I mean, I will say that while the AFC Championship game is, we could have predicted that last year, or even, but the NFC Championship game, I mean, Niners Eagles it's a little bit weird. It's not
how it always is, though. It's like because of Brady and the AFC, it's just always like the AFC's kind of just decided, and now it's Mahomes and Allen and Burrow, and it's like, well, we know it's gonna be one of these 3 teams probably.
I was just reading a stat. Since 2013, only Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, Pat Mahomes, and Joe Burrow have represented the AFC at the QB in the Super Bowl.
You could probably go back further than that. I mean, there's probably a couple anomaly years, but it's been pretty dominant.
The years before that, it was Ben, Manning, and Brady.
And even
and Flacco like once, I think.
I was actually seeing somebody pointed out with the Mahomes has never played a road playoff game except the Super Bowls.
Right.
I mean, that's what happens when you win 7 division championships back to back. Back to back.
Number 1 seed, like 9 out of 10 years or something.
And then we had the Bengals. So this was supposed to be the good game.
Yeah.
And then it wasn't.
It was
horrible. We were talking about it when we before we started recording, but like the Bills weren't here. They just didn't play this game. It was kind of
Josh Allen
sad to watch.
Absolutely horrible, and I think that there needs to be a discussion about him not being able to win in big games. I believe that against most other quarterbacks, except maybe the elite, the top, which he is, I think that he is under scrutiny a lot more and is expected to play at a higher level than what he showed on Sunday, and it was not good. I'm not saying that he's anywhere near Derek Carr levels of not being able to come up big in the big game, but we talk about like Dak's like chokedness in the playoffs. This was bad. Josh Allen did not play well at all. He had the 1 score and that was it.
Yeah,
I don't know if I'd put all this game on Allen though, because
I'm not putting all of it on there. I'm just saying that he's held up to a higher standard than other quarterbacks, and this is one of those times you're playing at home. It's in conditions that favor you. You're playing up against a team that you know that you can beat before, and he just comes up with a goose egg other than the 1 rushing touchdown. And, you saw the blow up that Stephon Diggs had, especially after the game, and he got all pissy and was yelling and, just handling it without any class at all. And it's, people were frustrated with him because I think that everyone expects him to play better than he did, and he just didn't perform.
Yeah.
Watching this game was weird, though, too, because I mean, look, the Bengals are a good team, and their offense has been rolling lately. But, man, the Bills' defense just had no answers. Not even, like, any answers this game.
Yeah,
I think even if Allen plays better and they get, like, an extra 14 points, they're still losing.
Yeah.
Like, it was just a defensive disaster. And then past that, I know the Bills aren't known for their run game, but there was no run game at all.
Yeah.
It was, like, I don't know if it was the first or second drive, but it was one of the first drives. The Bills came out, and they they did a Buccaneers or a Steelers play. They run pass and it was gone. Like it was.
I was gonna say that they watching this game. If you're watching this from the perspective of a Bills fan, it looked like you're watching Tampa. Like they were not moving the ball at all. They got the one score in the second quarter, and it was anemic. It was like watching people out there who weren't ready to play versus a team that absolutely was wanting to crush it.
Yeah.
And they did, and they got the revenge game. And it's like I was very disappointed with how Josh Allen played. Something was off with him. The defense, of course, didn't help themselves, but
right.
The Bengals knew where to strike, and they took advantage of every single play. And
I think people thought this was gonna be a shootout game, right?
Yeah.
Like, two high-powered
did.
offenses. Like, it's gonna be like 35 to 31 or like something. But it was honestly, some of the plays even gave me a little Aaron Rodgers vibe. They would do like, oh man, it's like 3rd and 5, and they would like bomb it downfield and miss it. And I was like, dude, am I watching a Packers game right now? Like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
Like they just didn't. I don't know. They didn't look prepared. I thought they gave off the vibe of like, all right, how are we gonna play the Chiefs next week? You know what I mean? Like they just felt like they were ready to move on, and they just didn't know what to do, and they got crushed. Like the Bengals just looked amazing. Like they were just hitting everything. They were open. They were running the ball. Mixon was getting 5 yards a carry on 20 carries. Like he's just every 2 downs, he's got a first down.
I want to hammer that point home because we have moved beyond the Bengals are going to be a good team, or like they're young and they're getting ready to like, this is the fucking team now. This is the best team in the league. And this is the level of talent that you have to win right now. And if you're not like the only team that's matching them, I think, at least on the offensive side of talent, is the 49ers. And I'm pretty sure that's the Super Bowl matchup we're going to get, because these two teams are just like, there's so many good players on both sides.
Yeah.
Like so many. Like Burrow, Mixon, Perrine, Chase, Boyd, fucking Higgins. Like, there's so many talented players.
Yeah.
Well, and and all those names that you mentioned were on offense, but like I didn't think of the Bengals as a team that had a strong defense, but they just held the Bills to 10 points.
Yeah.
In the divisional divisional round. I mean, that's
Yeah, we haven't really talked about the Bengals defense at all this year, it feels like.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't think
it's an average defense, but that's probably average to good, I would say. Like not average to bad.
Yeah.
It seems like it. I mean, they're good enough to hold Josh Allen and the Bills to 10 here. I mean, if anything, it's good for the defense to be playing well at the end of the season like this, right? But
yeah. Because even looking at it, they're just during the season, they're like a middle of the pack defense.
Yeah.
So like nothing crazy. Their run defense was actually pretty good. The run defense was 7th, but pass defense was like way down there near like Cardinals, Panthers, Falcons. So like, that's not great, but I guess, once the playoffs hit, they tighten up. Like this feels like a team that actually they only gave up 20 points a game. That was 6th in the league, so that's pretty good.
Yeah. Now, one thing that I will say is this is the first year without Dable. And I don't know, now that we're at the end of the Bills season, I feel like losing Dable was a pretty big loss for them.
Yeah.
To be honest, their offense, and in particular, like Josh Allen's stats over the year, over the season, deteriorated somewhat. And I think their offense suffered this year too.
Yeah. I mean, on the flip side, we saw Dable make the Giants amazing. So, like, obviously he's doing something.
Yeah.
But, and I think you could tell the Bengals just wanted to, like, I was saying earlier, they had all the ticket sales going off. Like, Chiefs, Bills at the neutral stadium, and, like, they're selling tickets there, and the Chiefs, and then, you see that, you're the Bengals, you're just like, yo, screw this. Right?
Joey B. Joey B. The post game dropping that you better get your refunds. At the end, it was great.
Plus, they felt kind of screwed over too, because like they were kind of in the same situation as the Bills from not being able to get the Hamlin game, and they thought they should be on a neutral site as well, because they're like, hey, like we should have a neutral game, but they're like, nah, only the Bills. So they're just kind of like, what, Yeah. So plus, I mean. This Bengals team can beat the Chiefs. They've beaten the Chiefs, and now Mahomes is injured. Like,
I'm 100% picking the Bengals over
the favorite for sure.
Yep.
And speaking of celebrating early, because we were talking about this earlier,
right?
Tony Romo in this game was insufferable.
Oh
he was like calling the the Bills, the champs.
I'll
throughout
tell
the
you
game.
what, Jim.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't and look, as a Jets fan, I just gotta say, it's pretty nice. It's pretty nice. I'm just saying, it's nice. It's nice seeing people celebrating before the finish line, especially a divisional rival, and then face planting at the end. It's a good time.
That's how I felt watching the Vikings. I was like, this is what everyone
Yeah.
cheers for when the Packers are in the playoffs and lose. This is what it's like. Playoffs. And then, speaking of cheering for teams to lose, the Dallas Cowboys lost to the 49ers.
Fucking
And
gods.
I loved watching Skip Bayless lose his mind on Twitter. I don't follow him, but I saw he was trending, and I
I
clicked
saw
it,
that,
and
yeah.
he was just going insane, and I loved it.
If you saw the score of this game, you would think that, oh man, that must have been a real barn burner. No, it wasn't. It was hilarious in all the best ways.
Yep. It was
Yeah.
3-0, then 9-6, and then 9-9, and then the 49ers were the team that got a touchdown, so they won.
Yep.
Yep.
Well, I mean, we're kind of burying the lead a little bit because this game featured possibly the most hilarious play in NFL history. Like maybe.
Yep.
We're getting a little ahead of ourselves, but yeah.
Yeah, you get a little ahead here, but
I'm just saying, actually now thinking about it, this definitely was the best game of this weekend because of that final play.
100%.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Brock Purdy was 19 of 29 for 214, but he didn't turn the ball over. And that's the most important thing, right? They're just, telling him, like, whatever you do, it doesn't matter if you do, like, 100 yards and no touch, like, just don't turn it over. Because, I mean, you got McCaffrey, who ran for a touchdown. You still got Kittle. You still got all these guys, Deebo Samuel. And on the other side, Dak had 2 interceptions and a touchdown. He also looked very stinky. Honestly, the biggest thing for the Cowboys was they lost Tony Pollard. Tony Pollard, is this offense. Like, him and CeeDee Lamb, I would say, are this offense.
Yeah, they need
And
to move away from Zeke.
Zeke
is
is
absolute garbage.
He's
He's been garbage.
Let me pause to something. I think the Cowboys need to burn it down. I think they need to move away from Dak, Zeke, McCarthy. They need to reset this team.
Yeah.
Because this is the team that's good enough to make the playoffs, but too shitty to win a divisional round. They're literally cursed.
Yep.
And we've talked about this a few times for other teams, but this is, as a fan, I mean, look, missing the playoffs like 9 million years in a row sucks too, but this also sucks to exist in when your team is built to win and it's not winning. And even worse, it's kind of getting humiliated in a way.
It just shows you how bad the Bucks were to lose last week.
I mean,
I've been saying for years that you can't win with Dak. Dak is not a
Dak. He's not it. He's not it,
guys.
He's not it.
Skip Bayless. Skip Bayless has proposed a Dak Prescott trade to the Green Bay Packers for Aaron Rodgers. I don't want that.
Well, after absolutely losing his shit on Twitter, I don't care what Skip Bayless says.
I don't care what he says either.
I feel like I am taking just crazy pills that McCarthy is still on this team. Again, we are here again. Rewind 1 year. Cowboys versus Niners. Oh, McCarthy pissed the game away with the awful coaching again.
In the last play, again.
Again, okay, how are people not talking about that fucking punt on 4th and 10?
Oh, yeah. Well, because the other thing superseded it.
That was the worst punt I've ever seen in my life. They punted the game away. They basically threw the game, and then the Niners threw it back by whoever it was going out of bounds. Like, the game was over if he doesn't go out of bounds. Yeah. And he wasn't even forced out of bounds. He just literally walked out.
Yeah,
Schultz had the 2 back-to-back.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I don't understand.
Schultz. Oh my god.
Schultz it felt like almost that he didn't even care anymore. But
No, 100%.
No reason at all. Not dragging his foot and catching the ball inbound. He had plenty of opportunity to do that. And obviously we don't know what's going on in someone's head, but like from somebody who's got 2 working eyes watching the game, there's no reason why you don't put your foot down on that. I mean, that's receiving 1-on-1, and And that, I'm not saying that would have saved the game, but it definitely would have put him in a better position to not have to do the let's watch Zeke get blown up by the San Francisco defender.
Yeah.
Just get plowed over.
So we can talk about this play now. So we get to the 4th down or whatever, the end of the game, right? And the Cowboys are like, "Hey, we got a special play." Mike McCarthy drew up. This plays. You think the laterals are fun? This is like gonna be a mega lateral
mojo moment.
This is a mojo moment.
It's so good.
And
moment.
The funniest part to me, okay, is that not even did they call this play, but the 49ers call a timeout and go like, "Hey, they're doing this wacky ass play. Let's adjust to it." And then they just run the play again.
That's the best part is that like this whole sequence. Like if you were you can't. You need to watch a video that has the whole sequence from when they first get out onto the field until the end for it to have the proper comedic punchline. It was like a soggy dog joke or whatever. You know what I'm talking about?
Shaggy dog.
Shaggy dog. It was like a shaggy dog joke.
You gotta look out for them soggy dogs.
Because they come out in the stupid formation. Zeke's at center, and I remember typing like, "What the fuck is this lateral bullshit that they're doing?" And then they call a timeout. This takes like a good minute or two, solid couple of minutes of them like, okay, and then they stop. They go back to the sidelines. Then they come back out in the same fucking formation
play.
And then we're waiting.
Zeke looks about as confident as though he's about to face someone in a sumo wrestling match.
Like even the defensive lineman is like, "Is this like what's happening?" And then he's like, "Yeah, fuck it." He just like shoves
what the hell
them
they were expecting to happen, and so then you have all this build up for like 2 minutes. They snap the ball. Zeke gets immediately pancaked.
No, dude. It's the best because the lineman, you can see him hesitate for a second because he's like, "Are you sure?" And then he goes, "Okay."
Yeah, he's like, "All right."
And then Dak is wildly running backwards and throws a check down, who is immediately bodied. Immediately.
Like literally sent him to another zip code.
Yeah.
Like just
it was one of the worst.
It was like half a second. It was 2 minutes of build up for a half-second punchline, and it was I literally broke out laughing.
It was bad. I mean, like that reminds me of the let's line up everyone except the center onto the left side.
Yes.
It legit.
But this is worse because
this is worse.
They didn't mean to snap that one. That was an accident. This was intentional twice.
Yeah, the fact that they ran it out and they just said, "Well, just run it back again." They called a timeout. Who cares? That's Mike McCarthy 101.
For me, it's
right?
actually it's giving more credence to Apollo's theory that this year coaches are really just out fucking smarting themselves because they're just doing some dumb bullshit lately, man, and it doesn't make any sense.
Well, this is a Mike McCarthy special. If somebody's watched,
this is definitely Mike's game.
Coached by Mike McCarthy.
Every year I take fucking psychic damage that guy's still a head coach.
I still couldn't believe he got hired again. So that was like first thing, and then just the time management, which has happened before. Like, just always been a problem. And then just like the whole thing is that he's like, "Oh yeah, back in Green Bay, I had shitty play calling, but guess what? I've changed." He hasn't really changed. He's just like kind of mixed some stuff up to try and be cool, but it like doesn't work. So like,
so before, because we also need to go towards the positive for San Francisco before we move on from this game. But what I will say is that because I know people are going to be coming after me about saying how giving the Dak Prescott and Josh Allen comparison in the playoffs. Let me just tell you something here. Josh Allen only has one more playoff win than Dak Prescott. Just lending to my point here. He's 3-3 in the playoffs. Dak is 2-3. And you know who also has just as many wins as Dak in his first year? Brock fucking Purdy.
Yeah.
Purdy, what he's doing for San Francisco is incredible.
I mean, Brock Purdy's got more.
They came out with
Mark
a diamond in a rough there. And Mark Sanchez.
Yeah. Brock Purdy's got
a better record
more
than Josh Allen.
divisional wins than the Dallas Cowboys in the last like 30 years.
Brock, what they have done with the Christian McCaffrey signing and how they have just embraced the fact that Purdy is absolutely going to be the guy in San Francisco is remarkable. And for him to do it, not only it's one thing to be a late round draft pick, but for what he's doing in Mr. Irrelevant, and he's winning playoff games.
Enough.
You know what, Bear? I'm not going to listen to this. I'm going to make this point. What he's doing is Mr. Irrelevant with that tag on him is absolutely incredible. And for him to put up the same amount of wins that Dak Prescott has after how many years he's been in, Brock Purdy is the guy. And that just shows you, again, to my point about Josh Allen and Dak, they cannot win in the big games. Brock Purdy can. He's proven it. He's already proven everything wrong this year.
I will say, I think Josh Allen can win in big games. I still think his defense was trash. I mean, listen, he played like ass this game.
Look,
but I mean, we go back.
For itself.
If you go back to last year, he could probably have been beating the Chiefs if they keep playing. Like,
here's what I would say about this is that we're talking about Dak Prescott on the Cowboys, coached by Mike McCarthy and formerly Jason Garrett, right?
Yeah.
So not the best cast of characters. And also Josh Allen, who was under Sean McDermott, a defensive-minded head coach. I would say, I mean, I have a personal bias here, especially against defensive-minded head coaches, but I mean, I think that's a significant factor. Kyle Shanahan in San Francisco, I think, is a major factor contributing to Brock Purdy's success right now. And not to take anything away from Brock Purdy, but like that system that Shanahan has been running out there is, I mean, it's across the league now, right? Like it's like the main thing that everybody's kind of shooting for.
It's West Coast offense.
Well, it's a hybrid. It's like a run first.
It's what they've been running for a while now. I mean,
well, yeah, but it has taken. It's not the traditional West Coast.
Yeah, it's got
like
running. It's got more motion in it. Like a lot of just moving guys back and forth to confuse.
I still say that
matchups.
the disappointment factor is higher for Josh Allen than it is for someone like Dak, because Dak, they're playing in a, let's call it a weaker division. It's not a weak division, but a weaker division than the AFC East is, or AFC North, AFC East. And the fact that the way that the Bills played this year and just blew everyone out. I mean, even us on this podcast were saying it's the Bills and everyone else for a long time on this podcast. And then seeing how they go and just collapse against a good team who's ready to play this time around, especially for the revenge game. I think that's the reason why the disappointment factor for how Josh Allen played is higher than it normally would be, as opposed to someone like Dak, who were like, yeah, he's got a bad coach, and they do these weird plays that make absolutely no sense. And if you talk about a running game that had absolutely no support at all, I mean, even before Tony Pollard went out of the game, they still weren't running the ball. Zeke was 10 for 26. That's horrible. That's garbage, and especially in the playoffs.
Well, I mean, I think the big thing, like you said, is that Josh Allen and all. Like, I think Josh Allen's better than Dak Prescott, but
absolutely. I think he is better. He's better, but he's only one playoff win better. That's the point that I'm making.
It's the point that like the last 2 years we saw Josh Allen and the Bills become good, and then last year we're like, wow, this team's real good. Like they're going 1-for-1 with the Chiefs. Like they could have went to the Super Bowl. So everyone expected this year, like, all right, well here they go. And I think that's what happened. They got a little too lenient. They're like, all right, well we're good. We're going to the Super Bowl, and then the Bengals show up and they just shit on their parade.
Yep.
So I think it could be a learning. Maybe they needed this. Maybe they need to learn, for next year. Like, hey, who gives a shit about the regular season as long as we get to the playoffs and then we like play hard. Like that's it.
But man, Brock Purdy is for the Niners. Like they are. I honestly don't see them losing. I don't see them losing to Philadelphia. I really don't.
I do.
I don't know. I think it's going to be a close game.
We're looking at a 49ers teams whose two opponents were Dallas and Seattle. Look,
I will say the 49ers defense is their best thing.
Yeah, I think the thing about Brock Purdy is I think the only thing you can say that he's done exceptionally well is not turn the ball over. I think that's his one huge plus right now.
What the 49ers need, though, weirdly
exactly.
enough.
Not saying that. That is true. You are correct. That is why they're here. But I still have yet to see him. Like, come on. Look, I don't want to shit on him. He's literally Mr. Irrelevant. So I take this with a grain of salt. But like, he has done nothing impressive with the most impressive offense in football. Right?
He's truing.
Look, I'm all for the hype. He's doing what he needs to do. But that is all he's doing, is exactly what he needs to do. And I don't know if that's going to work against a team like Philadelphia.
I mean, he said that last week too. So,
well, I mean,
but Dallas fucking
going up against Philadelphia.
To be fair, Dallas
should have won this
defense
game.
did play well.
They should have won this game.
Like Dallas's defense is good, and they did play well. Like Purdy didn't do amazing. He just didn't turn the ball up. But when the Eagles have just as good of a defense, but like they can run, they can pass, the quarterback can run. Like they got a lot more offense.
And I will say too, speaking from just having the experience of having a QB who couldn't complete a fucking screen pass, that like doing the easy thing and just like managing the game is still pretty hard. And plus, he does make he makes some really tight window throws that are impressive.
That's what makes it amazing, right? The Mr. Irrelevant part is what makes this amazing. But if he was a normal quarterback, it's like the Jimmy Garoppolo all over again, basically. Like,
but
which is why it's impressive, because
he's not a normal quarterback. I mean, his poise is really, really good.
Exactly. No, that is what I want to highlight, that because like I feel like the conversation gets a bit too close to like, he's incredible, he's an amazing quarterback. It's like, no, he's not. You kind of touched on this a little bit, but I think another element besides being Mr. Irrelevant is this is a rookie. Okay, like if not a lot of even first round rookies play with this kind of poise and confidence, if they make it to the playoffs. It doesn't happen very often.
Yeah, so I mean, for just the fact that he's winning in the playoffs makes it incredible with him being a rookie. Like San Francisco does have one of the best offenses combined with one of the best defenses, and I think that people are going to be surprised when they see what happens in Philadelphia. But I do think that Purdy is the guy. I think he is the guy. He's done more with less to work with up until the point where Trey Lance got injured. Jimmy G's done. Like I cannot see them. I cannot see them.
He's earned another year for sure. I'll give you that. Purdy has earned a year at this.
Yeah, it's gonna be.
I would take him over Trey Lance.
Well, yeah, but they spent so much on Lance that you can't just give up that easily.
Well, Lance is under contract, but they're gonna have to give Purdy a contract, right? Because I think I don't think he's on a multi-year deal. I'm not sure, unless I'm wrong.
It would be a rookie deal, wouldn't it?
Well, I don't know, because when you get into later rounds, like when you get into like the 7th round, it becomes a little different. I know, but it may not matter. He may have a 4-year deal.
He's got a 4-year deal.
He signed a 4-year, $3.7 million contract.
Wow! Oh my
god!
Wow, they're getting that for
insane.
Their quarterback's $3 million. Oh my god,
that's insane.
Over
Denver.
Denver. Yeah, that's less than $1 million a year for this right now.
Oh my god,
that's
wow.
Which,
all Broncos fans just collectively threw up in their mouths.
I would if I was the Niners, I would take Purdy over Lance. I mean,
I
would easily.
Until
I think at this point he's already
otherwise.
I mean, even like I don't know, even if he has a shitty game in the conference championship game, I don't know. I feel like Purdy
he deserves to get first team reps and
Yes.
play in the off season and or practice in the off season. Be the preseason guy and then probably start. Like I think that's what he has earned that. But I don't know. I don't see him getting the kind of long leash that like Lawrence had, right? Where Lawrence had I think if he has like a bad year, he's gone. Instantly.
That is true.
Well, those were the games. Sinvicta, do we have power rankings this week?
We've got power rankings, Coach. Woo-hoo. Here we go. Bible of the internet. A whole 8 ranks, Rob.
Oh,
8 of them. Get ready for it. Again, thanks to Dan Hanzus over at NFL.com for contributing. We're going to just say the top 4. How about that?
Sure.
Surely you guys can do better than you did last week, because last week was just a massacre. I don't know. Apollo selecting the Detroit Pistons. Rob talking about, I think he said something about the Buccaneers. So here we go. Top 4 of the NFL Power Rankings Playoff Edition, Divisional Championship Round Edition, starting with Alpaca Patrol.
You can do it, going to go.
Here we go.
With
Pistons.
The Pistons. I really thought it was going to be the Pistons this time.
It should be the Pistons.
And Coach Crendor.
I'm gonna get one right.
What? And Apollo.
A broken walnut.
That is correct.
I knew it was the broken walnut.
Broken walnut.
He didn't even give me a
coming in
chance.
The shell or like the actual nut itself is
It's like a
question.
third, right? Like it shattered, and there's like a middle chunk that came out. And
I love
well,
that.
in that case,
Those are the top tier.
oh, it was the side. Wait, which
it was
side
the side. It was the side. Top
God
4 of the NFL power rankings. You all failed miserably once again. The Cincinnati Bengals, Rob, number 1, tying for the thinnest dink with the Philadelphia Eagles at number 2, moving from 5 to 2nd, which makes you wonder how they were ranked so low. The Niners have dropped inexplicably. I guess that's what happens when you only put up 19 points against the Cowboys in the playoffs. Have dropped 2 spots from number 1 to number 3, with the Chiefs rounding out the top 4, obviously, because they're the only ones left in the playoffs. I thought that you guys would get that, but apparently not.
Who? I think
With the
he said
Buffalo
the Pistons.
Bills,
What's a playoff?
Distance. Okay.
Yeah.
the Bills sitting at
Is there any
5th.
walnuts?
The Cowboys going back to 6th. And I just have to just read the first couple of sentences of this. For the Cowboys. They didn't move, by the way. They didn't go up or down, staying in 6th spot. Last year's final play of the season against 49ers was frustrating. This time around, it just felt sad. A doomed gadget play, one with Ezekiel Elliott in the role of pancake center number 1, and Kevontae Turpin as the receiver without a prayer in the world. Pretty neatly summed up a loss for Sunday against the Cowboys, who got a tremendous effort from the defense. Blah blah. We don't care about that. I just had to hear him talking about the role of pancake center number 1. The Jacksonville Jaguars, Rob, sitting at 7th, and then finally, last but not least, your New York Football Giant Jets sitting at last in the power rankings at the 8th rank.
Is Crendor getting a fight?
Nah, just moving something.
No, I think there's a herd of feral cats have invaded.
A lot of cats, honestly. It's crazy.
That's been happening a lot.
That's probably that's probably true over there. So
There's a cat
anyway,
apocalypse happening.
there's no other stats to report from the power rankings, so we go up to Pick'ems and Coach for bonus stats, and then Pick'ems again.
Folks, it's Pick'em's time.
Baby.
So this week's assistant coach.
Oh, bonus stats though, right?
Yeah.
Well,
we gotta
it's
do
all one, okay? It's all.
Yeah, but you change up the sequence.
order.
Every time you change
order.
the
It
sequence.
is what it is.
head.
All right. So currently, I am 9-3 in the playoffs. Went 3-2 this week. Sinvicta 5-0 this week. He's 11-1 in the playoffs.
Damn.
Rob 3-2 this week. 7-5 overall. Bear also 5-0 this week. Also 9-3, same as me. Apollo 1-4, 6-6.
Never try to have fun.
Postseason
always
Apollo, not as strong as regular
But,
season
I mean,
Apollo.
to credit,
Hey,
he
that's-
did have some bold picks.
And Randy 3-2 this week, going up to 50%. As he should
at
be.
that.
Look at that.
Of course he
You
did.
love to see that.
As all things should be.
Discord 4-1, going to 9-3 as well. And
boy.
Alpha something going 3-2 and is 3-2.
Oh, you lost
missed his Giants
Yeah.
lock. I applaud him for going for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that couldn't have been further from an L there.
Yeah.
Or further from a W there, I mean. Sorry.
Yeah. Further from an L, truly.
Yeah.
Bonus round stats. Gold Rush. This was the first time Rob has ever picked the 49ers in the playoffs. Sinvicta has picked them in all but one game versus Rams. The 49ers
Complete
are 6-2.
opposite.
Why do I don't trust the 49ers,
That's a
I guess.
weird
I don't know.
stat, yeah.
I do like that you have the gold coin in your mouth.
That is great.
That is
yeah.
good.
No, that's very good.
No field connection. That's a good one. A little Wi-Fi. Bear tends to lock AFC teams much more often than NFC teams in the playoffs. 11 AFC locks to 4 NFC.
Makes sense with Bear being a Patriots fan.
Oh,
That
yeah, I'm
is
sure a
true.
lot of those were Pat's locks.
Rob also 11, and
Yeah.
then 6 NFC. I had 8 and 9. I'm pretty average. Sinvicta 10 and 8. Discord 6 and
Yeah.
5. Apollo 3 and 4. Randy 0 and 2.
It makes sense too, because like as we were talking about, the AFC is a little bit more assured for the past several years.
Yeah.
Well, with that said, though, Crendor, Invicta, and Apollo are all pretty split, so I guess that's just our preference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've really outdone yourself. Crendor and Sinvicta are already guaranteed to match or succeed or exceed. I
Exceed.
can't talk. Their best ever playoff records. Krender's previous best was 9-6. Jesus, and Sinvicta was 11-7.
Oh man!
All right. Well, we still have time to introduce some new podcast shenanigans.
Yeah, we need to add shenaniganery.
Yes,
Nope.
barring on
Just a way for them to perform worse than they previously did. That's all I'm concerned about.
When we have
I
our
will be
business meeting.
unlocking.
We have like a Jeopardy system. You can bet all your wins to get
Yeah,
double
there
the
we
wins.
go.
we should get a Wheel of Fortune system. That would
Apollo's now 3-5 all time, predicting cat-based teams in the playoffs. Bengals and Jaguars. Bengals are his most locked team against, or most locked against playoff team at 3 locks against. He's now 1-2 unlocking against them. That's Pick'em's impossible too, by the way.
Yeah.
Are there? I'm
No.
thinking about this now. There aren't any dog-based teams in
It's
the
kind
NFL.
of fucked
are
up,
there?
honestly.
Yeah,
there's a real
There's
gap
a lot
there.
of cats
I mean,
and
the
birds.
The
Browns.
Browns,
Shitload of birds.
actually, yeah.
Doesn't
the
count.
Browns are
They
the
have a
closest.
fucking elf as their mascot.
The Browns don't even know what they are.
They
They're like
are not
the-
allowed to hold on to any dog titles while that
The
fucking elf
dog,
thing
the
is there
elf,
or that quarterback
Jimmy
Pretty
exists.
much
Brown.
only the Browns.
Their name is also literally just a person's last name.
Yeah, I
and
don't know
it's
what
not
they're
even
doing.
their primary color.
They don't even spell it's the dog pound, right? Isn't it DAWG? They don't even spell it
true.
right. They don't deserve it. They don't
Stupid
deserve
ass
it.
fucking Cleveland.
Fuck your team.
Then easy as 1, 2, 3. Picking teams based on which nickname comes first alphabetically has an 8-2 record this playoffs.
Wow.
Since the podcast started, this strategy has led to a playoff record of 37-21, 63.8%, better than everyone but Bear and Discord.
See, this isn't very
Better
fair
than the
though,
alphabet.
because think of it. What, Bills, Bengals, Chiefs, right?
Yeah.
That is true. Yeah.
Bears.
Yeah.
Sorry,
There you go, Bears.
Good point.
Yeah.
Also, wait, do the 49ers count as
Don't forget about Bucks.
before A?
Oh,
Like,
I don't know if they
yeah.
do. Oh, yeah, Bucks.
They would have to be, right?
well,
I mean,
Bucks are BU, so they're at the bottom. So
Yeah.
Bucks. Go
Yeah.
Bucks. Go Bucks.
Yeah, but but those are you gotta remember they're NFC. So
Oh, yeah.
mm,
And those are your bonus
Bills,
stats.
Bengals, Chiefs. You know.
Thanks, Pixel.
Yes.
Assistant coach of the week this week is Dermot the Freg.
Yes, that is, and
Say.
he's got a perfectly accompanying picture of Kermit in a cowboy hat. That
Yep.
is
it's wonderful.
It's
Yeah.
fantastic.
I love how there's 2 G's at the end of
Dermot. It's Dermot the Free.
very good. Pixel wanted to note Dermot has only made picks in 4 weeks this year, so they're a bit of a wild card. But they did predict the remaining 4 teams very well in that small sample size. So that's
right.
just something to note here.
All right.
Oh,
duly
and
noted.
also we should mention the thing that you gave us also from Pixel Bear. The
Oh
extra-
right, yeah. The information from last week's bonus
Oh.
stats, that very the really well
Yes.
hidden teams. So we found the Saints one, of course. The Cowboys was the bottom middle, replacing the guys in a bear. The capitalized letters we found near the end. The other one was the Patriots. He says within bonus stat number 3, all locks against Brady were in the past 3 years when he was a Buccaneer.
Ah.
That's some fucking
That's some like
That's
Fez
next level.
ass.
Yeah,
like,
man.
Yeah, I don't think I can get it.
You're giving us way too much credit at that point.
Yeah,
trying to figure it out.
yeah, man. People were going crazy trying to find that one, but yeah, that is well hidden.
That's a good one.
Well, it is time to pick them. So,
Pick 'em.
Pick 'em. 49ers, Eagles.
I am locking the 49ers.
Wow.
But guess what? I'm also logging the Chiefs. I'm double logging. Fuck you.
Whoa.
Shenanigans. Is
Double
that
shenanigans?
You think I wasn't already planning on that, dude? I have to double lock curse. I want to see Bengals Eagles. That's what I want. So I'm locking the Niners and the Chiefs. I'm double lock cursing.
He's sacrificing his playoff pick'ems entirely for the sake of a good Super Bowl.
I actually want to see Bengals, Eagles too.
Yeah, and his
But-
integrity. First and foremost, his integrity.
And self-respect.
That's why I'm taking the Eagles.
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 I'm taking the Eagles. I think they're
I'll
gonna do
be taking the San Francisco McCaffreys.
it. Okay.
Oh, and the Kyle Juszczyks and the
All those guys.
George
Dude, it's more
Kittles
fun
and
to
the-
call them the McCaffreys.
Yeah.
Like it's a 90s
Oh, we didn't-
TV show.
We didn't even talk about George Kittle's amazing catch in the game.
Yeah, where he was
yeah.
stumbling forward and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
my
that's
God,
crazy.
that was so good.
Incredible.
Dude, I love Kittle fucking looking at the cameras all the time and being such a goofball. He's the best.
Look,
He is funny.
he has a very questionable tattoo. I don't know if you guys have seen it.
Oh no.
It's a really bad tattoo, man.
Should we not? I guess.
Is it
No,
bad?
no, it's funny. It's funny.
Okay, okay.
Oh, it's okay. Good.
Honestly, it's a little cringe.
I was
like in a
very
funny
worried
way.
for a
It's
bit
so
there,
sad
but
that's the directions. It's like, well,
Yeah, you guys
either
immediately
the-
thought like it
no,
was.
I
a
I mean, look, it's
100% thought,
2023.
yeah, no.
It's
no. It's just very funny.
Everybody pick their team here.
I will
believe
take
so,
the
yeah.
Niners.
I will be taking the San Francisco 49ers.
All right, there it is. I'm just gonna pick Randy's right now.
Wait, hold on. I haven't picked the Chiefs or Bengals. Did you guys all pick those?
No, we haven't picked that yet.
Oh no, we've only picked the one game.
Randy takes the Eagles.
And our
Okay.
assistant coach Dermot the Freg has taken the Eagles as well.
All right.
Okay, sorry. Now it's a new sequence again, and you're throwing off my brain.
Now
True, he's introducing Randy in here. What the
Oh,
fuck?
this is shenanigans.
That was
I call
Bengals
shenanigans.
Chiefs.
God, there's shenanigans everywhere.
Bengals Chief.
Dermot has locked the Cincinnati Bengals.
I'm locking the Cincinnati Bengals as well.
I will also lock
Wow.
the Cincinnati Bengals.
I will be taking the Cincinnati Bengals.
Oh,
Dude, imagine my awful fucking locks end up being correct. I'm gonna
I
mix
know.
up so much ground. I'm gonna
might actually
throw
win
guys
playoff
in-
pick'ems, yeah.
dude, I don't
mean,
want
I
49ers
guess-
Chiefs and watch it happen.
Neither do I. No, and neither do I. And that's why I'm covering both bases. Or if that fucking disaster happens, at least I'll have a hilarious pick'ems result.
You know what? I'm already behind in pick'ems, right?
Yep.
I'm
Throw the Hail
you know
Mary,
what?
brother.
Yeah, all right. So I'm gonna take the Bengals, and I'm going to lock the 49ers because I want it to happen. I want to
Okay.
see Brock Purdy
Yeah,
in the
let's go.
Super Bowl.
All right,
That
all
would
right.
be, that would at least be a fun thing. Yeah.
That would
Yeah.
You guys are
Pretty
making the
cool,
mistake of
Rob.
picking
No,
up the
gee,
teams you want.
that's gonna be the entire thing. The Super Bowl, like everything, like this is Mr. Irrelevant. Well, he's
Yeah.
not so irrelevant anymore.
Here's a guy.
You sound like you're
casting the-
squishing your
Now we
face
sat
together
down
as
with
you
him.
I
I'd
like
like
to
a
squish
deep dive
Collinsworth until he's
into
no longer a fucking
Mr.
Irrelevant, dude.
come out of his body.
There's gonna be
to
a
get
fucking
empty
he's
him
gonna-
out, fucking free him of the Mahomes
He's gonna be
possession,
sitting
dude.
down. Dude, those dumb pregame shows. Gonna sit down in the chair where they got like a light on, like it's an interview or a fucking FBI interrogation. They'd be like, "So, Mr. Irrelevant, huh? How's it feel to be irrelevant now in the Super Bowl?" I'd be like, "Man, it feels great.
Not
you
so
know, I'm
irrelevant
just playing with
anymore."
my team. You know, really making plays and just doing everything I can." Like
In the background,
There's
you just hear
Collinsworth just
Collinsworth.
coming.
Just in another
you know,
room.
you're going up against Patrick Mahomes. That's a pretty good guy right there.
They both look pretty good inside.
You might
This
say
bit
he's a
is made 10
pretty
times as
good
funny
guy.
by the fact that it's Fox and not NBC. That's the Super Bowl.
I
this
was
year.
gonna ask. Yeah.
They're doing this
So
in
they
their
just bring him on
homes.
anyway. The Bengals. I'm taking. I did.
Oh,
Randy also takes the Bengals,
I'm a little
Okay.
unhinged here, man.
and Randy
Yeah,
has
really.
locked the Bengals.
Wow.
So
Yeah. No, it really went off the rails at the end.
Yeah.
Of this podcast.
thank you
Make
for
sure you
listening.
put the Patreon.
Patreon, guys, check
Patreon.
out that Patreon down the link below if you want to support.
And thank you again, by the
Thank
way.
you.
I want to
Yeah.
say it has been it like we launched it this year, and you guys have been very supportive. It's been good. Hopefully, you guys have been enjoying it, and let us know, of course.
Yeah, give Rob more money.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah,
got it all.
exactly.
Thanks for listening, watching, like, comment, subscribe, share the podcast all over. Check out the Patreon. And yeah, we'll see you next week where we'll know who's in the big game.
Dun-dun-dun. Dun-dun-dun.